All right, hello everybody. It is time for a video, and I don't have my microphone in front of me, but don't worry, we'll get there. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about some early previews of Joker as well as Queen, and then we're also going to get right into talking a little bit about the Persona 5 collaboration today because it is brand new, it is probably interesting to people, and it is, for all intents and purposes, one of the weirder collaborations that I've seen on the JB side, and there's some stuff to show off, both good and bad. So first of all, as you can see, both Queen and Joker have ended up getting their own banners, step-ups, both paid and not paid as per usual, and we're just going to talk about some early previews of these two characters because like I haven't even really tested them that much because of saving friend units to be shown off in this video. But let's take a look. First of all, Queen, absolutely stellar looking limit burst. I mean, the limit bursts for this collaboration are just so flavorful. Really, they took a lot of time to make sure that these limit bursts do justice to a lot of the like just the legacy that Persona has of being so stylish and so cool, and a lot of that translates really well through the characters. I think their animations and everything look super accurate, and I just wanted to get that like right out of the way, that I think both of these characters look really cool, and the animations and everything. Like right now we got Makoto on the home screen, who is the first free copy unit for the collaboration. I know some people who have gotten Joker so far. Some people who haven't gotten Joker is myself. I'm not pulling on his banner. I'm saving my resources for Kasumi when she comes out in about a week's time. So that'll be my big pull banner, as well as potentially Astoria, if we get any information that he will be coming out. It looks like Bismarck has data mined some things that are possibly part of his kit, and I'd be very surprised if he didn't end up being a unit. But, alright, let's show off some things to do with just some missions. So first of all, let's show off on Joker's mission. I want to show just what Joker ended up looking like, and we're going to do a quick discussion of him. His TMR is an accessory, 296 HP, 12 accuracy, 10 spirit. And the TMR skill is a one-use skill that gives slash attack up, missile attack up of 15 both, and an increase to AoE resistance by 15, not only for himself but for allies as well. That's a pretty nice little buff right there. Taking a look at Joker's stats on an all-dark elemental team, you can get an idea that this character is pretty damn good. 3 move, 2 jump, 8,000 HP, 1,300 attack, some defense and spirit, as well as 105 agility makes this character very, very well-rounded. Taking a look here, we can also see that this build actually doesn't have any negative resistances on it too, which is really impressive. He has no weakness to the light element through this build. And I think that is big time notable, because you can build this character to be a really good counter to the light element, which is basically what this unit's kind of coming in and doing, with its limit burst being a sure hit ability. That is definitely one of the things that is the most notable about him. Alright, taking also into some things that I think are really notable about this character. First of all, his unique counter is a chance to counter all damage by reducing the damage taken by 30%. Now, 20% chance it happens, so a fifth of the time. That's pretty good, and 30% damage reduction could be the difference between him living and dying. Unfortunately, taking a look at Nightblade, he doesn't have the restore HP, so he's going to be looking at restoring HP from other sources. And his gunner ability does have some support through his dagger as well as his kit. So like you can see that his dagger actually supports shooting damage up. This is good for multi-damage type units. This weapon is really nice and probably is going to be, as some people have already figured out, good on a few other units. Now taking a look at Take Your Heart, one of his primary ones that you want to run for support. Agility, defense penetration, and AoE resistance. AoE resistance by 15, defense penetration by 40, and agility by 12%. A very, very strong just support skill kind of thing. Yeah, because that's what it is. Anyway, he also has a few other support skills that are nice. The other one that is his type, which should be this one, is a range +1 in shooting power up. Given that Joker's kit can run this very effectively, this just seems really two nice, unique support skills. The vision card also helps with accuracy and damage. It's a nice statted vision card, as you can see, with 4 agility. That's partially where some of this Joker's agility is coming from. As for his kit, subpart of his main job has confusion and sleep status effects. He can break physical barriers, decrease defense, as well as reducing counters off some of his abilities. He can reduce damage taken with a barrier, decrease attack and magic by about 40% for a target, decrease the chance of being targeted himself, and he can even restore CT on his basic attack, which is kind of cool, as well as moving to the unit panel. So let's take a look here, and as I just decide to talk about what I think about Joker overall. Now, Joker definitely has really nice stats. Dark Element is still very strong, although the Light Element has, in more recent times, surpassed it. Is this really going to be the thing that ends up pushing Joker like much farther into the future and being way better? I don't know. Honestly, I'm quite impressed with the Joker's stats and skills. They seem just really solid. It's definitely straightforward with a little bit of optionality. You can either go Nightblade if you want to do some more sword-based damage, but you have the option to go with Gunner too and give him a lot of range abilities, and that is a lot of flexibility for a unit to have. And I think it's good enough. I really do think that it is a strong enough thing to have this character. But obviously, one of the big things here is going to be his limit burst. His limit burst is such a key part of any conversation to deal with him. Why? Well, I mean, that's essentially what a lot of people are interested in, myself included. JP has problems with evasion characters. Having some units that are capable of dealing a fair amount of damage in other ways is just really good. So let's see, we've already used this limit burst. See if we can't get a little bit. No, I see he's a little bit out of range. So we're gonna take a turn off. We got Flyboy over here, who has a giant AoE. Huzzah. Oh, that's good. That's a good job, Stern. Interesting little counter there as well, should be said. Here, we'll let Garble take a swing at him. Alright, we'll get a little bit more of an idea for his damage capabilities here. Sleep status effect is very effective, though. So yeah, Joker seems very capable at dealing damage, very capable at dealing with evasion units, and I mean, it's going to take a little bit longer for me to really come to a judgment whether I think this character is absolutely worth the amount of resources that you could throw at him. On the other hand, Queen is probably the more interesting. I think that Joker is just straightforward good on early impression, where with Queen, I'm not too sure. Taking a look at what Queen got, that's very interesting. First of all, before we even really talk too much about her stats, I think we should just look at this. This weapon is a big difference in making a multi-damage type unit go a long way. So Queen's TMR also does provide a little bit of statage here, as you can see. You can take a look at the stats, but also has an increased spirit penetration by 20 for 3 turns for herself and allies centered around her. Very important for her dealing magic damage, and this also has fist and magic damage up. But taking a look at Queen, she only essentially has one, and I do repeat this, she essentially only has one support skill that is unique to her, which is a little disappointing because I usually love unique units of support. This is pretty good though. Attack and magic up by 24%, physical defense penetration by 40. So it does have some support for her being a physical unit as well as a magical unit. Speed isn't too impressive, but her limit burst does give her an agility boost. HP is pretty dang strong, but attack and magic both over 1000 is really good. Just because I was worried that they were going to compromise a little bit for her having both and be under 1000, which would have been really sad. But as you can see, it's pretty good. As for her weaknesses, blatantly obvious that it's very clear against Oberyn would be a big danger for her. But her counter ability does kind of make up for that, just for the fact that it is, where is it? A chance to evade physical damage. So a 200% evasion buff at 15% chance of happening is just really good. Other than that, she does have fighter's buff for HP and attack up, which is pretty nice for evening out her skills. Taking a look at the main part of her kit, we'll talk more about it once I have a better idea. But the main part of her kit, she can dispel auto revive, she has a little bit of healing, she can break barriers, decrease healing power for the enemies, she can inflict stun, she can boost attack and magic for herself by 40%, which is really good, and prevent AoEs. She can increase her spirit for herself for multiple turns with a chance that counter activate for 3 turns herself, which improves just the chance that she'll be stronger. And yeah, she's just capable of debuffing spirit on enemies and magic on enemies. So a good anti-mage unit. Now, do I think that she is the best unit ever? I don't know. This is the first time I'm going to see her 120 in action. Oh, whoops, sorry. Force of habit. But I think that Queen is the more interesting of the two. I don't think that there's a way that you can get away with her being under-EX'd. Specifically, I think it's even more so that she just needs to be 120, and you need a good amount of vision cards and other units to really support her in what she is capable of doing. Otherwise, I think you're going to run into problems a lot of the times. Also, this map is way more difficult, but hey, we're getting to show off the Persona maps. So the Persona event, I have to say, is really weird because coming off of Final Fantasy VI, which had a main menu thing, which had a lot of really good effort put into a lot of the stuff on the main menu with the music and everything, the Persona 5 thing is kind of missing music from certain maps. It doesn't have anything on the intro screen, and well, that just does kind of hurt the overall experience, I think. Not a ton. But as you can see, where we do kind of lose out some of this stuff, we do make up for it in a really big way by just some of the more awesome things that we get to see with this event. The animations on the characters, as well as the attention to detail in these maps with having new kind of overarching effects. Like here you can see the rose petals and the tornado effect. It looks really, really cool. Yeah, Niv is a little underpowered for this. My lightning team isn't necessarily the best. But like from early impressions, like Queen doesn't seem like the best AI unit because she does need to use some of her abilities, and you will have to build her AI to specifically do certain things and not do other things, which is really important to note. All right. But before we close out this video, when speaking about the Persona 5 event, of course there will be more with Kasumi later, but there is a somewhat important question. I'm going to really hold off on reviewing the Persona units for like another day so I can test them a little bit more and hear some other people's opinions. But when it comes to the stages, you've seen the bank stage and you've seen the first stage, the first dungeon boss, or the first and second dungeons from Persona here. But this third stage, this is the one that really makes me wonder how they got by Q and A. Because at 3 times speed, there's essentially at this stage, there's nothing wrong with it if you're just watching it at 1 time speed. However, 3 times... Yeah, so like I really do appreciate the flair and the effects that are on these maps. These are some of the best looking maps. But I really think they probably should have made the stage effects not affected by the speed at all, because this is kind of comically funny in just how bad this is. And I'm just curious how this got by Q&A, because this is, well, it's an eye test for sure, but yeah, you kind of get the idea. I won't show it off again because this could trigger epilepsy, although I've heard that green is less likely to, but still. There of course will be an epilepsy warning in the comment or the description section of this video. But Persona 5 is kind of weird. It's a mixed bag. We have some of the really good music from the game, but we're missing other pieces of music from it. Like the main menu, there's nothing fun and cool with the main screen here of being in mementos or anything like that. The characters look great. Their animations look fantastic. It's really cool to have Joker and Makoto already, with Kasumi like right around the corner. As for the stages, they show a lot of flair. The bosses have some really amazing animation and everything. And it's just a fun collaboration to have, where I never thought we'd see Persona and Final Fantasy in the same game together, or at least not in Wotv, let me put it that way. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff here, but as you can see, some of the stuff probably could have used a few more weeks, and probably could have been ironed out a little bit more. But just taking a look at the Persona 5 stuff for now, pretty damn cool. Thanks for including it in the game, and yeah, that's all for this video. We'll do full reviews on the characters a little bit later once I've formed a better opinion of them, and I'll be also making a few other videos about my opinions about Ibarra, as well as... there's one other thing. Oh yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the other stuff on the JP side real soon. Anyway, thanks for watching, take care, and see you in the next one.